to Blender Sushi Live. Today I want to talk about the new asset browser that's coming soon with Blender 3.0. Still currently it's in alpha, so be careful with this. This is probably not production ready, but let's just jump into it. So asset browsers supposedly allowing you to manage blend assets very quickly and easier. With animations, you can also kind of make a pose and then reapply it into your character very quickly. We're gonna try that in a bit. Objects, collection, geometry, mesh data, shading, this is the materials, image, sound, and maybe grease pencil, etc. can be stored in the directory that you can easily pull. So currently we have nothing in this file. It says nothing in the current file, but if I switch to default or actually to sushi folder, if I refresh, what we're gonna see, I have something here. So for example, I have this vase material. This is from my previous live noding. I can just drag and drop it into this box. Now this box have this weird material working. Okay, so that's one of the features. It's really cool already. I can also select one of these vase and I can just drag and drop it there. And yeah, I think there's, currently it's set to append by default, so it's appending the objects. I can also set it to link. You might find it familiar from here. So link and append. With link, you can actually link other objects from different blend files. With append, you're gonna bring in, kind of importing the objects or geometry from a different blend file. But now this can allow you to kind of manage a little bit better. I have also this alpha objects, which is actually from a different blend files. The vase is actually coming from a single file. So currently it's sometimes behaving a little bit strange, but most of the time it works fine. So this is bringing in object from a different blend file. If we take a look, so how it works here actually with the directory and the custom. If you look at the under preference, I set up default and sushi. So this is gonna be the name label for the path. So this path is pointing into my folder, blend folder, which is under users, my name, documents, blender, asset. So this is folder that you set up yourself. You can have multiple folder with different assets. Maybe call this one like Sketchfab and point into Sketchfab folder. You can put the folder in different place, but yeah. And then you simply point into that folder and then accept it. So it's gonna look into this folder, look into blend files that you can later bring into the current blend documents. Okay. So of course under sushi folder, we have already 2 blend files with SVerchok vase and random lines. Okay, I can save preference. So this random, let's take a look at the vase actually. This vase. You can see here we have six pot. If I try to just drag and drop and reopen it here, this is the blend files. We have monkey head here that I didn't use, and we also have these objects over here. We have 6 different vase with this one that's procedurally generated. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 different vase has already been marked as assets. So it's already been marked as asset. If I can clear assets, but for now let's take a look This is the one that's procedurally generated, right? It's also changing color. Let me just duplicate that. If I duplicate that, it's kind of like baking it while the material is still kind of changing. The material is changing and I want to kind of bake the material as well. So this is the vase material. I'm just gonna make a single copy, and then I will right click here and mark this as assets, and then save these blend files. And so this master objects is not an asset, so I just keep it separate, while these guys kind of bake and turn into assets. So now if I delete the driver here, I can still make changes. I save this and then I'll open a new blend file. I can quickly pull the asset browsers and check the geometry. The sushi. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have the new vase. I can just drop it there and it works. Okay. And I think if I make changes into, let me save this first. So this is like, for example, I just call it composition vase. And so I save the composition vase. If I go back to the original vase here, this guy, if I try to make changes, okay, this color, save. If I reopen the other file, this guy somehow didn't change. Maybe there's a bug. Okay, it's supposed to be red color, right? But it's different already now. Oh, that's because I was appending it. I'm supposed to be using link. Maybe that's something to keep in mind. Anyhow, so let's try actually start from nothing, and let's save this into my sushi assets. Save this as primitive. So we're gonna make like a primitive geometry. For example, we can create, let's try enable extra objects, extra mesh objects. Let's create like a teapot or diamond mesh. Rock generator. We have rock generator, which is also kind of interesting. Let's just use this one. So we have rock, we have with diamond. Maybe we have also teapot. Save this. So this doesn't have any material. But we can quickly mark this as assets. So I'm marking these objects as assets. And after I do that, if I go back, if I create a new blend files with nothing in it, I can quickly pull the asset browsers. Take a look under sushi. Now we have diamond object, rock, and teapot. Each one of them now is like an asset. And also material, so I still have this vase material. I think this one is the animated one, still kind of doing crazy stuff. Yeah, I can easily just drag and drop it, so that's really cool. So anytime we actually can have like a material library, for example. If I, for example, make like a, it doesn't have to be donuts, but I will just use the donuts and make a quick material. Save this as materials, or it could be like donut material. And make a quick one. This one, metallic donuts. Pink color donut, maybe with the color ramp. Or actually, yeah, with checker. Checker material donuts. This one. Let's try another texture. Bricks texture Musgrave. Okay, my favorite Musgrave. With, of course, color ramp. Okay, so nothing much, except that we can maybe take a look at the material, and actually maybe we can do this here. Oh yeah, we have material 1, maybe we call it metal, right click, mark assets. So we mark asset of the material. This one, checker, right click, mark asset. This one, Musgrave, right click, mark assets. So all put into a single blend files. Now if we open a new file, once again, asset browsers, we should be able to see there's, switch to sushi. We have these objects, which is this random vase. We have, yeah, metal. Let's try all these objects. This random one, the alpha, this one's from SVerchok actually. Take a look at the material, shading, drag and drop, boom. It's that easy, and yeah. So append, I think append is good, but I think sometimes you actually want to use link, so it's gonna be a link to the original library, and then you can always do like some kind of override. So that's gonna be really powerful. This is the random lines. So actually this is how it looks in the original files. With the current files, there's also this library, right? So for example, if you make like a bunch of different objects using SVerchok, let's make it slightly different. So let's say we have this. We already have alpha objects. So I could actually have like a different nodes, but for now, just gonna do it like this. Okay, it's completely different, right? I can mark this as assets. And this is the original. Let me, for the original, I just keep it square and simple. Okay, they all mark as assets. The first one is special because it's using the nodes from SVerchok. So I save them into the file and into my library. So this is as SVerchok random lines. Okay, so now if I have like a new Blender file, pull up the asset browser once again from my Sushi. Okay, now we have this 1, 2, 3. They are all kind of separate together. They're all together currently, which is probably not something you want. Maybe you want to have like a multiple library. So it's quite possible here to have multiple folder. File, new folder. Let's call this 1, 2, and this is where you want to manage your separate geometry. Maybe this is materials, right? We just put it under this one. Or actually, let's put this one outside. So we have 2 folders and we have one that's outside. So let's refresh this. So now you can see only the primitives, but under this you can actually go deeper. So there's this option, okay, to control the size. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. And we can also recursion 1 level. So with recursion 1 level, it goes deeper in terms of digging the folder. So we can still have like different folders to organize our assets, and we can separate it this way. Blend file. Alright, so hopefully that's kind of makes sense. There's one more thing that I want to show you. It's the animations. I test this like very quickly earlier today. Let's try with this character. Red nail for Blender 2.8. It actually works. It works with Blender 3.0, so nice. I want to try this character and try the assets browser very quickly. We have animations, file, save as. Let's call this one, let's put it under our assets. Call this red. Save. So red nelp. Okay, let's try to make a pose, for example. We are already in the pose mode. I can perhaps just make a quick animations, right? So we have an animation or actions, and we have this pose. This animations. Let's call this one default, or do we need to name it? I think we can switch to animation editor. Okay, action editor, and we have this default pose. Let's just mark this as an asset or something. I wonder if we can just drag and drop it. No. Mark asset. Okay, I mark it as assets. Let me see. Doesn't seem to be working yet. Pretty sure I have this working before. Let's try quickly make a pose with this character. Keyframe. So we have a keyframe. Mark assets, and yeah, now it works. That's weird. Okay. Now let's try actually post this differently, like that way. If I reset this position, okay, that's interesting. That right. Let me get rid of all the animations, and then reset the position once again, and then I can right click, apply pose. Doesn't work, but double click seems to work before. Or I might have made a mistake there. So let's try again. Okay. So we have this character and we pose it like that. I'm assigning the pose and we have the pose. And I'm using this rig actions. Maybe I need to change it into different actions after I mark it as assets. All right, so I made a pose now, right? So I don't actually need to make a keyframe. Now I'm kind of totally confused a little bit. Anyway, I make a keyframe and then I right click here and I make assets. Now it says data blocks are already in assets. Clear animation data. Okay, so clear animation data. So every time I do that, I clear the animation data, so I have nothing here, but I can select my character and apply pose. Okay. Yeah, I think the click and double click is still kind of weird. It doesn't always work. So this is with the animations assets. I think I can make a keyframe here. keyframe there. So okay, flip pose seems to work. Anyway, it's still kind of alpha, so I'm still confused on how this actually works. Anyway, at least we can flip it. Can I apply this? So I can apply this pose, but I can also blend the pose, right? So I'm using this blend pose. This is like a, so we have two pose, we have two keyframe pose, and I have another pose here, and I right click blend pose, and I can blend the pose. Just now it was working. Well, that's really confusing. Let's try again. File, open. It's easier with the geometry. So we have this character. Switch to pose mode. Let's pose nelp. Select all the bones, keyframe. Right click, mark assets. Okay, we have this pose. Save. Delete the animations. Make another pose. Keyframe. Mark assets. Okay, we have two different poses. And then I can get rid of all the animations. Actually, okay, we have two poses. I can reset this guy. Now let's just apply this. Okay, that works. And I can flip the pose. That works. That's nice. And I can use this also. 1, 2, 3. And I can go back to default pose, keyframe it, and then apply this, but turn off flip. That's cool. That works really well. The flip is really cool ways to animate. I think like this, you can have the characters already dancing, and this is like a surfing character. Now I haven't tested the blend, so let's reset everything again. So all I press is A, and then Option G, Option R, Option S. I wanna try animating the finger. So he's probably suddenly kind of stressed and angry. But I'm already like animating this character, right? So maybe I should make the pose beforehand. But maybe I can just save this in this current keyframe. I just gonna right click and mark assets. I don't think it works that way. Anyway, I have this pose. I can right click here and blend pose, So I'm blending between this pose and this weird angry pose. So I'm scrubbing my mouse between this and that. This pose is actually pretty cool. This position. So I'm blending between two poses now. Yeah, in a way that's kind of interesting, and it's actually working pretty well. But I should make the library first before I'm animating. I believe that should be the case. So clear animation data. I don't have any animations here, but I have this pose that I want to save. So this is the action. So this is like doing something. Right click, mark as assets. So now we have this doing something. This is like, can we rename it? Can't rename it. Can we delete this one? Delete. Okay. So I saved this all of this into a file already, right? Save as red. What if I create a new blend? Assets browser, and this is where the magic should happen. We have animations of red. This is the pose actions, but we don't have the character that we need to bring in the character. So maybe append our character. And we have red nub. Maybe select the armature or something. Where's the armature? Oh yeah, okay. This guy is a little bit special, so maybe I should open the original. Okay, this character already we can pose. We can switch to asset browsers under Sushi, and we have our animations. So apparently the pose also works with the selected joints, so that's cool. So we can have this. We can select just part of bones. I just figured this out, and we can have different pose assigned into it. So this is kind of big deal. If we select all, we can apply these 3 different pose very quickly from our assets manager, and then apply the pose. And for example, if we want this, just this part, we can do that as well. Yeah, so that's really cool. All right, so we can have like a full body pose and then all this hand pose into a single folder. So this is all saved under my Sushi asset. So we have this red, which is animations. All right, so yeah, I guess that's really pretty much my quick look. Our quick look at these assets browsers. Still, there's a lot. Still, there's a lot to learn. I think the shading disappear. I should maybe increase the level. So now we have the shading. Okay, cool. Can we drag and drop into nulp? Nope. We need to be in object mode. Okay, maybe the material is different. We need to select the object, which is not selectable at the moment. Yeah, so let's just bring everything in. Just for the wallpaper. we can have different material. Assets browser, very interesting. So this is a quick look at asset browser. Once again, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.